Question 7. Part A. Love these ones. A nice coordinates question. So we're asked to write down the coordinates of B. So B is our point here. And we're going to do it in X, Y, Z. This is going to be the form of our equation. So I'm going to start with, let's just start with X, most unpleasant one. What is the X value? Well, we know the X value of A is 2. So this point is 2, which means that this space in here is 2. Next thing, what's this length? Well, if we look at the point V, if you can just envisage, so that's coming down on the diagonal, so that splits this blue line in half. V is 5 and A is 2, and V is in the middle, this line here of this blue one, which means that this distance from A to the midpoint is 3, which means that this, since we got A to the midpoint is 3, is also 3. So adding all of these numbers together, 2 add 3 gives us 8. So it is 8 along the x-axis. Well, what is B on the y-axis? Well, be careful here. It's not a square-based pyramid, guys, because if it was square-based, we would just say it was 6, because it's the same, this and this are the same. But they're not, because questions told us it's rectangular. So how do we find that? Well, we need to look at this V again. So V is 2 on the y-axis. So this point here is 2 back. And if you can see that that point is actually right in the middle, which means that it's the midpoint of here. So the midpoint of here, that's 2, which means that this is also 2. So it's 4 back. And then, what is it on the z-axis? The vertical one? Well, hopefully you can see that it's on the floor, so to speak. So z-axis would be 0. And that's part A done. So part B. Calculate the length of edge AV. Now this is quite difficult. It requires you to see things, but it seems obvious once it's explained. So AV is this edge here. So if you can see this, you can see, you know, they put a right angle in there for a reason, to give you a hint. Can you guys see it? I've just picked out a triangle there. So if we want to know if this is our objective here, we need to know 6. Well, yes, that height is 6 actually. So we need to know that, but we also need to know this, and then we can find this. So what we need to first do is find this down here, which means, let me just rub this out. In order to find that, we need to form another triangle. So we can draw ourselves another right angle triangle down here with values that we do have. So what did we say in our previous question? Well, we knew that A to the midpoint of this line, which is meant to be represented by that, is 3. So we know this is 3 along here. We know that V, which is this, is 2 back on the y-axis, which means this is 2. Which means this length here, which I'm just going to call, let's just call X, we can use Pythagoras for that. So what's our Pythagoras? Well, x squared is equal to 3 squared plus 2 squared. X squared is equal to 9 plus 4. X squared is equal to 13. So x is equal to root 13. So now we can move on to this larger triangle and find AV. So we have this, we know that's 6. We know this is root 13 down here. And then we're looking to find AV, which I'm just going to call y. So then y squared is equal to root 13 squared plus 6 squared. Y squared, what's root 13 times root 13 is 13 plus 36. Y is equal to, y squared is equal to 49. Now this is looking good because 49 is the square number. Y is equal to 7 because I'm taking the square root of 49. So y is AV. So then we can state that AV is equal to, so do we have no, we don't have any unit. We're just going to say 7, or you could say 7 units. So you see what I did there, guys? I used Pythagoras to find myself this triangle, which I had the information for from part A, in order to find this yellow length here, this root 13. Didn't matter that it was a third, I could still use it. And then I knew from this V that the height was 6 up here. And then I found my AV using Pythagoras again. So I hope that helped everyone. Quite a tricky one, but you can do it.